Welcome back to another episode of the Brilliant Resilient Experience.
Hey, nowadays the pain follow me. Deal with trauma privately. I don't want to be a burden. I handle things to find.
From sins and vices to survival. It's like the trifecta of life.
Yes.
It's a constant struggle.
Today we have a very special guest. We have the owners of Sins and Vices, which is an apparel company. They make gear that is designed for working out in the gym, mostly martial arts gyms. So they make rash guards, crop tops, leggings, things like that. They have some really awesome designs, and they actually sent me some gear. So I got to wear it yesterday at the gym, loved it, and it looks fantastic. So I'm really excited to talk to them and kind of find out more of what is the story behind the company and how they got involved in it and how they started it, and just kind of learn more about them. So let's go ahead and welcome David and Maria from Sins and Vices. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
How are you guys today?
We're doing well, thank you. How are you?
Good. I'm good. I am good. Just had to have a little sip of coffee to get going, but
Nice.
can never have enough caffeine in the morning, it seems like. But yeah, I'm really excited to talk to you guys. Thank you, by the way, for sending me the shirt. I really like it. And luckily it fit me perfectly. So I was like, thank goodness, because you never know with like the like tight fitting stuff. Sometimes it's like if you order one size too small, then it's like you can't get it on. And then if you order it too big, then it looks weird, but it fits perfect. So I love it. I absolutely love it.
Great. We're glad you like it. How did it feel when you were training with it?
Good. Yeah. And it's perfect timing because it's getting a lot colder outside. So having a long sleeve definitely helps me out. So yeah, it felt great. And I had a great session, had my boxing class. So yeah, it was awesome.
That's amazing. That's great.
Good.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm really excited to talk to you guys and kind of just find out more about you, more about what you're doing and the company, and really just, get to know your story is kind of what I want to do. So, first, what I wanted to kind of ask you guys about is how did you get involved in martial arts, to begin with?
I'll let you start.
Well, my I did kickboxing.
Okay.
I started in kickboxing, and that's actually where we met.
Oh,
but
nice.
I always had the love of kickboxing. I always wanted to do it. And luckily I found the gym that we met at. And I was there for quite a while, a little bit before you showed up.
Yeah. I think like a year or two.
No, I was there 3 years, I believe, doing kickboxing.
Okay. Yeah.
I did a little bit of the jiu-jitsu, but it wasn't me. I couldn't keep up with it. I couldn't.
Yeah, I definitely am more into the striking. I did a jiu-jitsu class and I loved it, but I was like, I don't know how I'm going to balance both of these and still kind of put the same amount of energy and effort into the striking that I want to put into jiu-jitsu. So I'm like, maybe a little bit later in my life, I'll focus on jiu-jitsu. But right now I'm like, yeah, I want to throw some hands. So
that's it. I love it. That's awesome.
I get it. Well, that's really cool. It's so funny how martial arts really brings people together. I feel like just so many people that I know, it's not even people that I've met through martial arts, but people that I've met in the past. And now we're kind of connected through martial arts and we weren't before. It's so crazy how this community works. It's awesome. Yeah. That's really cool. So you were training kickboxing, and was it a kickboxing gym or was it an MMA gym you started training at?
It still is a kickboxing, BJJ. At the time,
okay.
They still had yoga at that time.
Oh, nice.
So yes, they offered yoga. I did that also, which was amazing. I loved it.
Oh,
it was more of a cardio kickboxing class I first started.
Sure.
But, and slowly
that's how I started.
Yeah, it started to evolve into more of a boxing and like actual. I mean, I'd say more boxing than kickboxing because we have a guy who fought for Golden Gloves and he does classes on Friday. So one of the coaches is under his wing and so he's more about the striking, the combos now. It's actually really dope now. So I mean,
that's awesome.
I wouldn't say it's an MMA gym.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, like they don't train you to fight or like for competitions or
Right.
nothing like that. Like, you know what I mean, for local amateur fighters. But you know, there's it's still a great gym.
Oh
Very
yeah,
friendly, very good
absolutely.
atmosphere.
Well,
Yeah.
there's a lot of people that train that even if they don't compete, they train like they would. I mean, that's kind of how
Mhm.
I train. Like I don't compete. Maybe I
Yes.
will one day, but but I train like I'm going to compete because it just gives me more intention behind my
Yeah,
training and more like I'm more motivated that way. I'm like it's like I'm training for a
sure.
fight that's never going to happen. Or hopefully I'm not just walking down the street, but
Yeah, it's better.
uh
It's better to know it than not know it. You know what I mean?
Yes, in case you do.
exactly. Yeah,
When
you
I
never
met her,
know.
when I met her, she was terrible. She would close her eyes when she would
I
punch.
would.
Oh, don't close your eyes. I was like, you're not gonna hurt me. Trust me. You know.
That's
And
hilarious.
then before you know it, she's kicking the shit out of me, and I'm like, hey, cool, thanks. Ow. You know, but it that's I started doing kickboxing more because of that for her. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I saw her, I was like, okay, you know, cool. I want to get to know her, you know, because kickboxing class was more women than it was men
It
back when
was.
I started.
Yeah, usually it is.
You know, so I
Yeah.
got there and you know spiced it up a little bit and eventually got her attention. It took about like 3 months, but but I got that attention. But yeah.
That's hilarious. I love that. So when did you start getting involved with jujitsu? I know David, you're kind of more in that realm. And
Yeah.
you compete in the gi, correct?
I do mostly gi. I'm starting to
Nice.
build up my confidence in no gi.
That's awesome.
It's just very slippery.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So like
imagine.
I'm starting to get the hang of it now, and I'm starting to actually appreciate it more than the gi. But I do
Yeah.
gi competitions right now because I feel confident in my gi ability. I started training in about 2 years ago, May 2021, I believe, and I started doing jujitsu. I went through a phase of my life where I needed change. So I was like, you know what? I've always wanted to do it. I've never had the time, you know. And I called my buddy Peter, and Peter pushed me to do it. He goes, "No, do it. It's a brotherhood. You're gonna love it. You know, this is what you need. You're going through it." And I went, and I remember my first class of jujitsu. Horrible. It was horrible. I almost died. You know, you think you know how to fight, and then here I was 190 at the time, and this like 140-pound kid is just tossing me around the mat like a fish out of water, you know. So I'm holding my breath. I'm like struggling to keep up. I'm using too much force, and I remember I had to stop. Like I couldn't do the closing exercises, and I had to go to the bathroom. And I tell this all the time. I opened up the window, and the window only opened up like that much. And I'm like, I need air,
Oh
and
my
I'm trying to
god.
breathe through, and all I get is this whiff of the pizzeria next door. And I was just like, no, this can't be happening. I felt like I was dying. So my professor comes up to the bathroom. He goes, Dave, you okay? So like I had to man up. I was like, yeah, I'm good. You know, I go out and he goes, look, Dave, come back another day. Don't worry about it. You don't have to sign up today. And I was like, no, I love it. Sign me up. And I signed up right then and there. Once I got my composure back.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it was tough. I was like dehydrated. I wasn't breathing properly. I was just a wreck.
Yeah. I don't know. I
I
lost
have.
you. Oh, there you
I
are.
have.
I lost you for a second. You're back now.
And yeah, I've been
Yeah.
hooked on it since. And I've done the kickboxing. When it was cardio kickboxing, it helped me out with my stamina and my cardio. And I was in the best shape of my life. I was eating right. I wasn't drinking. I wasn't doing anything. Just work, train, work, train. And I was in the best shape of my life when I met her. And it's all because of jujitsu and the cardio kickboxing. I had like an 8-pack, you know. I was in great shape. I was proud of that. I even took a picture because I was like, you know what? If she ever leaves me, this is gonna be my profile picture. An outdated picture from like 2 years ago.
That's hilarious. Yeah, it's so awesome how training can just kind of elevate your life in so many ways. And not only just in your training, but also just in discipline in general. And like to me, it makes me a more disciplined person, especially when you're around people who train and you're around fighters and competitors and you see them, then it's hard for me to be lazy when I see that, because it's so motivating. And it's like, oh yeah, okay, maybe I should, clean up my diet a little bit. Maybe I should be more disciplined and, not be lazy and laying around and doing stupid things. And and it helps. I feel like it helps me a lot mentally too. That's a big thing for me. And like people ask me all the time, like, oh, I need something else to do with my free time. I need something. I'm like, dude, martial arts is the way to go. 100%. I'm like, even if you think you won't like it, I'm like, just try it. Try a few different gyms. Don't just go to one gym. Try a few and see what kind of fits your vibe, because man, it really can change people's lives. 100%.
Definitely. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, speaking of that, how, besides, I guess, kind of helping you be more disciplined, are there any other ways that martial arts has impacted your life?
I'd say for me, the discipline, obvious. It's helped me push my body and mind further than I ever thought possible. Like there's days I come out there broken and I'm like, I fucking did it. I was like, I bragging rights. Nobody can say shit to me. I did. I came up and I showed out and I'm done. That's really it for me. Just it's helped my body, my mind, kept me on a strict diet. And it's also it's helped me with my drinking. Now that I'm back in mode, I'm not drinking I'm not drinking period now, which is why I got the shakes. But like I dropped 8 pounds since Tuesday. I've been going hard on the diet. That way come Thanksgiving I can eat turkey. I want to stuff my face. I want to. Are
you competing before Thanksgiving or after?
No, after. But it's literally December.
Okay.
So it's like right after Thanksgiving, right around the corner.
Yes. So you're gonna have one cheat meal.
Yeah. It's gonna be the best cheat meal ever.
Oh yeah, I'm so excited. I was thinking about it today because we're already starting to kind of get some stuff for the Thanksgiving dinner and getting like the stuffing and all that. And I'm like, oh man, I'm so excited. Like something about this time of year, I get so excited. And it's not even like, it's mostly just the food I'm excited for, honestly. And just like the vibe too, just like the holiday vibe. And then right after Thanksgiving, you put up the Christmas tree and then you get the Christmas vibes. Yeah. Oh, I love it.
We normally fry the turkey, but I think this year we're not doing it.
No, not this year.
So that I'm really? A little bit about that. Yeah, I've done it I've done it with my kids every year since like I don't know 2014, and this will be the first year that I don't do it.
Since then,
wow.
Yeah.
It's all right. You get a break.
Yeah, I get a break. I
don't think we've ever fried the turkey. That sounds really good though.
Oh, it's delicious.
Man, because sometimes it's like, I don't know. I definitely don't get as excited about the turkey as I do like the sides. I feel like the sides are definitely the best.
I'm more of a sides girl.
In the dessert.
I'll pass on the turkey.
Yeah. The turkey, that's just my protein. I got to get my protein in. So you got to have the turkey. I got to hit my macros.
We've been messing around with some mac and cheese recipes, and we made it from scratch yesterday. And I'm over here feeding, like dying for a bite, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, that's one great way to kill your diet is mac and cheese. Oh my gosh! And there's so many different ways you can make it. You can bake it in the oven. You can make it so many ways. Put all different sorts of cheeses in there. Oh yeah. Well, now I'm getting hungry again.
For days.
I feel like the last few episodes, like every single time we end up talking about food. I think it's just because Thanksgiving's coming up and that's like all I'm thinking about. But moving to your company, I kind of want to know. So Sins and Vices is your company and you guys are based in New York City?
Yes.
Awesome. So what kind of, I guess, when did you start the company and what kind of inspired you to start it?
It was a sketch January of last year. This year.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We had just started. It started as a sketch. I remember my partner was livid with me from the way the night we had the night before, right? Because I had a little too much to drink.
Sure.
So I was just like, I gotta turn this negative, this negative habit that I have into something positive, right? I was like, I can't be the only one going through this struggle, you know, whether it's drugs or alcohol or, you know, whatever, gambling. Everybody has some type of sin, right? Yep. And it's or vice, yes. And I was sitting there and I was just doodling. I was doodling all day because I was like, the only way I'm gonna get her back is if I picture a hell of an idea. You know what I mean?
And apologize.
Yeah.
And apologize. And I had to pay for dinner. But I was doodling, I was sketching, and I said I want whatever I come up with, whatever I put on this paper, I want it to inspire the underdog, right? Because we're all underdogs, we're all striving for greatness. You know, champions made from just consistent behavior. Just I'm sorry, I got off track. Just the underdog. I wanted it to be for the underdog. I didn't want it to be for any particular person or group, right? Because if you cater to everybody, you cater to nobody. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yep.
Right?
Oh, 100%. I agree.
I was like, all right, the underdog. Everybody's an underdog. Every champion starts off as an underdog. That's what I was trying to say. I got ahead of myself. I'm sorry. But I wanted it to be that. And my whole thing was, you know, people go to the gym every day to be great, right? Champions go every day to be great. That's their vice. They want to be great. That's their sin that turned into a vice. That's how I looked at it, right? So I had this little sketch that I doodled, and it was a Saturday. I was working. I was like, how, you know, I got to turn my hunger into my ambition, my flaws, everything that sums me up. I have to put it into this little sketch, you know? So I came up with the triangle because it's the strongest shape, supposedly, right? And I put the sins, and then I put the vices on the other side, and I had the sins and the vices weighing the triangle down. And I was just like, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Right? I was like, all right,
it.
I'm from New York, right? I mean, no matter where you are, if you live in California, Florida, if you're from New York, you're proud to be from New York. You know what I mean? It's the city that's known all over the world. So I was like, all right, we'll put NYC in there. She was against that. I was like, no, it's gonna say, you know.
I like it. I think it's awesome.
Right? So I remember going to her and I was just like, look, sweetie, I got an idea. I was like, let me know what you think, you know. And I pitched it to her. I showed her the sketch. I told her the sins that turned to vices. I said, we all got them, you know. And she was just like, Dave, it's perfect, but you're missing one thing. When she said, nobody's ever told me any of my ideas were perfect. So when she said it's perfect, I was like, whoa, really? Like I'm onto something? She goes, it's perfect, except, and I was like, except.
It was missing something.
I was like, except, how dare she tell me my logo was missing something? And then, go ahead.
Well, I figured you had the sins and the vices weighing the triangle down, but to me, what was missing was there was something at the bottom that was missing. So I said, well, there's a foundation. There's a foundation there that's holding up the sins and the vices, but I interpret it as that's our survival.
Oh, okay. So that's where that came from.
Yes, it's survival. We all have sins and we all have vices, but every day we struggle to maintain, we struggle to survive. And I said, this is what we're missing. We're missing that component. Yeah. So that's where we've added the survival, because the survival it's holding you up.
Yep. From sins and vices to survival. It's like the trifecta of life.
Yes.
You know, it's a constant struggle. It's literally just.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we fall and we struggle to get up.
Yes.
Some of us struggle more than others, but it's all about surviving.
Yeah. And then
past it.
That's when we added the cracks and we started to play with it a little bit more. But you should have seen my eyes. They were like, I was like, I love it. That's perfect. It did need it. It was missing that.
So she was right.
She was right. 99.9% of the time, she's right.
I'm glad you've had that realization.
it. We finally realized it.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Well, that's awesome. I love that. I mean, I've definitely had I think everybody has had their fair share of struggle in life, whether it be, it doesn't matter what it is. Like there's so many different forms of, sins and vices. And like you said, we all have them. And some people might look down on certain ones. And then it's like, oh, wait, but you have your own vices yourself. And so we all kind of need to realize that, nobody's perfect. We all have problems. Like I've had my fair share of problems. I've dealt with addiction. I've dealt with mental health issues. Luckily, I've been lucky enough to overcome those and come out stronger, but not everybody gets to. And I hope that, what you're doing and what I'm doing and, kind of what Jake's doing too, like all of us, we're kind of trying to help people kind of see that, yeah, no, like we're not perfect. We have things, we have our sins, we have our vices, but we are all trying to inspire and motivate each other to overcome them and be stronger and say, you know what, like whether it's your addiction or whatever it is, like, I've talked to people where their addiction was food and they were overweight and they overcame a food addiction, which is, gosh, I can't even imagine how difficult that must be as well. And then, drugs, obviously that's a very common addiction. And the hard part about that is that a lot of drugs, it's like you get to the point where it's not even your control. It's like the drug is controlling you. And I feel like that is kind of symbolic. Like when you overcome an addiction, to me, it's like you're kind of just regaining control of your own life. And you're like, oh, okay, wait a minute. I am in charge here. Like I am in charge of this. And you're like, no, you know what? I am not going to let this control me anymore. And I feel like that is something that I, over the years, I've kind of realized is that how many things have been able to control my life. And that's honestly why I'm so appreciative of the martial arts community and just training in general, is because it really saved me from a lot of that. And I feel like it saves a lot of people. And so I think what you're doing will resonate with a lot of people in the community, and probably already has, because we all kind of have, a lot of us have a past, we have things that we're not proud of, or issues that we're still even maybe dealing with. Because even if you overcome addiction, that addiction is still kind of there, and it doesn't really go away just because you're not using anymore. It's just you're stronger than you were before and you have more control. So I love that. That's really inspiring. And I'm excited that, you have that message to share. And it's something that I really appreciate because, yeah, like I've like, I'm not perfect either. Like I've been through some things that are just parts of my life that sometimes I don't even want to think about, and things that I'm like, man, I can't believe I got through that. I can't believe where I've come, from the past and where I am now. It's like, man, I've really just realized how important it is to take control and take ownership too. And because it's like, yeah, there's things in my life that I've, done that I'm not proud of, I'm not perfect, but I can look at it now and be like, okay, well, you know what, that situation or that circumstance in my life helped me grow as a person, and it helped me appreciate life even more. So, yeah, I think that's really important. And what is kind of your vision for Sins and Vices? I mean, you're relatively new with it, so you've probably kind of gone through a lot of phases. Like I actually started this podcast right around the same time that you started that. So I feel like we're kind of, like I went through some phases where I was like I changed the name of it. Like I went through all sorts of different things. So, yeah, what's kind of your vision for it for the future?
Well, we've already been on UFC Fight Pass.
Oh wow,
we had a fighter, Shauna Ormsby. She wore the logo in her boxing fight.
That's awesome.
We've been on New England Fights promotion, MMA. Shauna fought in that too. Shout out to her. She's a beast. She's like us. She will not turn down a fight.
I think I've seen her maybe on Instagram or something. I know I recognize that name, and I've heard of New England Fight. It's New England Fighting Championship. Is that what it's called?
NEF,
New
New England
England.
Fight.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've heard of them too. That's awesome. Well, that's really cool.
Yeah. So after having worked with, been a part of that, on those promotions, BKFC. I mean,
Yeah.
I want to move up to BKFC. We have something in the works with a fighter in February with that. I want to push it further. PFL, game bred, bare knuckle MMA. I just want to keep pushing that envelope forward. I will not stop until.
Yes, he won't.
Yeah,
he won't stop
until
I love that.
everybody knows about SMV.
That's awesome. I feel like, yeah, game bred and BKFC, that'd be such a perfect fit. I feel like just the whole vibe, and there's a lot of East Coast fighters in BKFC too. I feel like, so I feel like they would really like. I just had Tony Soto on last week. Yeah, he's so cool. Yeah, I love. Honestly, I mean, it's so funny you mentioned that, because like so many people, even other MMA fans, like they think it's crazy that I watch bare knuckle, and I'm like, dude, it's really not that much different. It's just they don't have gloves on. I'm like, it's not that much different. It's I mean, it's definitely more. I don't know if it's really that much more violent though. Do you think? I mean, it is, but
I don't more violent.
I mean, it's you get cut easier.
Yes,
but
a lot. Yeah. In that sense, I feel like it is more violent. There's a lot more blood.
Yeah.
It's easier to get.
That's true.
Teeth come out flying. We've seen. She was.
Yeah, that is true. Forgot about that.
She was all about boxing. She was all about boxing. She did not watch MMA, nothing, right? And then I was just like, well, come on, let's watch this. Yeah, we started with the UFC, and she goes, oh my God, I love it. Look, he's pounding. Yeah. Then I was just like, oh, sweetie, game bred bare knuckle MMA. It's free on YouTube. Let's watch it. The amount of blood that I saw got me nauseous. I was like, oh man. And then I look over at her and she's like, oh my God, that is awesome. Look at his face. The guy had a gash, like 2-inch gash.
Oh my gosh, what was that fight that we saw? His eyelid.
It was Dos Santos versus.
Oh yeah.
Who was it?
I can't.
That was that Verdum's eyelid? Yeah, that was Verdum.
Yes. Yeah, I believe so. Yes.
Oh, I forgot about that. That was brutal.
Dos Santos just wrecked him.
That was the first one that I saw ever.
All that blood had me queasy. I was just like, all right, I need a break. I need some water. And she goes, oh my God, when's the one? I was just like, let me find out. Let me find out you're abusive.
No.
Yeah, it's crazy. I love what they're doing. I think it's so cool. And it's interesting too, the grappling, because you don't have the gloves in your way. So it's
grabbing the inside of the glove,
Yeah, it's so interesting to me. It's just, I feel like a very raw version of MMA, and kind of like Joe Rogan was saying, he's like, this is the way I've always wanted them to do MMA with no gloves.
It's genius. And I'm glad Masvidal, was able to put it together, because honestly, I believe he's one, right? There's never been bare knuckle MMA. Like
no, I believe he has the only bare knuckle MMA promotion that I'm aware of. But yeah, Jorge Masvidal, just what he's done has been crazy, and they've only done 6 events so far, so it's still really new.
Yeah, it's a great idea. I love it. She loves it, so she loves it.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And I like the bare knuckle boxing too, because I've talked to some, I've talked to Keith Richardson. I had him on. I had Tony Soto on, and I've talked to them and kind of picked their brain on the bare knuckle boxing. And one thing that I didn't really think about, because there's a lot of MMA fighters that are kind of going to BKFC, like Mike Perry versus Eddie Alvarez. That one's coming up soon, which, oh my God, I'm so excited for that. And it's interesting because they come over to bare knuckle boxing, and they don't have as much wear and tear on their body because they're not having to train all the grappling, and they're not having to, worry about leg kicks and stuff like that. It's just throwing hands. And you got to worry about getting punched in the face, obviously, with bare knuckle, but you don't have to worry about elbows, you don't have to worry about knees, and you don't have to worry about, to me, which is probably the most risky part of MMA, in my opinion, besides, I guess, getting knocked out, is the damage to your joints. To me, that is like one of the most terrifying things. Like, I would rather get knocked out than tear my ACL, because if I tear my ACL, I might not be able to do anything for a year or two. So it's like, and it may never be the same. I may never fully recover from it. So it's like, I don't know. I mean, it's tough. So they're avoiding a lot of those career changing injuries by going to bare knuckle boxing. So it is really interesting. And I feel like that's why sometimes you see a better longevity, I guess, in their career sometimes when they go to bare knuckle boxing. Like, you see people in bare knuckle. I think Houston Alexander, I think he's 50. And he's undefeated in BKFC. Nice. Like, it's crazy. It is crazy. And well, on Game Bread last, I think it was on Friday, we had Francisco Trinaldo and Hector Lombard competed, and they're both 45, and they both won their fights. Awesome. Like, this is so crazy.
Yeah. And plus, the payday's got to be a lot better, right? Everybody always talks about UFC pay being, on the low end. So switching over to that, it's a nice payday.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because in the UFC, if you don't win, then you lose half your paycheck. And then also, if you're not like on a main card, or it depends on the level that you're at, depends on if you're what kind of cards you're fighting on. The pay may not be as good in the UFC, even though it is technically like a higher level promotion, but it depends on where kind of you're at, I guess, in the rankings, what your pay is going to look like. So I think it depends on the type of fighter you are too. Because if you're somebody like a Nate Diaz or somebody like that, and you're just kind of a dog, you like to throw down and you like to get in a brawl, then I think that Game Bread and BKFC would be a better fit. You may probably make more money because more people are going to want to tune in to watch your fights there than in the UFC. And even if you lose, like Joe Penafiel, he lost his last 2 fights in Game Bread. But people love watching him because every time he fights, it's like fight of the night. So, even if he loses, it's like, this guy's awesome.
You gotta love it.
Oh yeah. I will watch as many martial arts shows as I possibly can. Like, I'll try to go to local shows. I'll watch bare knuckle. I'll watch gloves, like whatever, as much as I can, as much as I have time for. I love it. I love watching it. Awesome. So yeah.
We do our share.
Yeah,
awesome.
We do our
Yeah, I bet you do. Yeah. Yeah,
well,
that's
probably
awesome.
not as much as you do.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, well, I guess I do watch a lot of fights. I love it.
Around sometimes, so we can't keep up with all the fights. But we try when we can. I know we watch them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Definitely. Well, I really like what you're doing with your clothes and your company and the fighters gear. So what kind of apparel do you have? I noticed you have like the leggings and like crop tops and stuff, and then you've got the men's apparel, you've got rash guards, and what all is like your variety that you have?
So much. We have the t-shirts, long sleeves, we have sweatshirts, the leggings, the rash guards.
We got beanies, hats.
Yes, just trying the beanies.
I personally like the fitted,
Yeah.
Show your fitted.
No,
it's okay.
I personally like the fitted SMV shirts. I feel like it feels nicer around the chest and the shoulders. I like the champion long sleeve.
Oh yeah, that was nice.
Sins and Vices shirt that we have, it's beautiful. I love it.
It's nice.
We got hoodies. The hoodies are great seller. Everybody loves the hoodies.
Oh, it's hoodie season now. Yeah.
I've been pushing that crazy.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm surprised because I thought the leggings would be more of a hit. Like I put a lot of thought into that. And then I don't even wear them. You know what I mean?
Oh, we also have the sports bras.
The sports bras
and the shorts. Yeah. The biker shorts.
Yes. I was so upset one day. I was like, I'm gonna wear my SMV logo on some leggings, and I'm gonna wear them as when I go train and grapple. Because I want people to buy. I was that upset that nobody bought. But we have a lot of variety.
That's awesome. Yeah, I noticed that. It was hard for me to pick which one I wanted because I was like, oh my gosh, there's so many different things on here. But that's really cool. I like that you do the rash guards too, because I feel like for me, not that going to the gym is a fashion show, but I like to I like to express myself, I guess is kind of my
Yes.
thing. Like I like to express myself. I don't like to wear boring stuff. Like I don't know. I'm a very creative person. I'm very, that's just my vibe. So when I go to the gym, I like to feel good in what I'm wearing. I like to feel confident. I like to express myself, express my personality. And I feel like that's kind of what, a company like yours does. Like when I go to the gym and I have, a nice little Gymshark set on and it's like really cute, or maybe it's like a pink set or something. If I'm feeling, spicy that day, pink outfit. But I love to wear it because I feel like I have better workouts when
Yes.
I look better and I just feel more confident. Like when I go to the gym and I'm wearing a baggy t-shirt and I'm wearing just like, plain gym shorts, it's just like I feel like I'm still half asleep. Like I feel like I'm not up yet. It's almost like when you get up and you get ready for work and you put on your work clothes. It's like you're putting on your gym outfit. You're getting ready for your training session. So I feel like it kind of gets me going a little bit when I feel like a little more, presentable, I guess. And I feel like more motivated when I get to the gym. And then also just, yeah, being able to express myself. And I feel like clothing is such an underrated way to connect with people too. Cause it's like, if I see somebody wearing a t-shirt of like a band I like, or if I see them wearing, a brand that I'm into or whatever it is, or a movie, then I get all excited and I have to say something to them. Cause I'm like, hey, I like that band. And I feel like that's how, clothing can connect people too, is, just saying like, oh, that's a really interesting shirt. I really like that. And then kind of, oh, well, there's actually a story behind it and all this stuff. So how important is that to you in your training and also like fighters and practitioners with, just being able to express themselves with their clothing, their fight kits and all that kind of stuff?
You want to take that one?
Well, I find that, I don't know if this is totally on topic, but I feel like, obviously when you feel good, you look good, you feel good. And we also have the option where if you want, if you want something a specific color, if you want pink, if you want red, if you want green, you just let us know and we'll do it for you.
I'm sorry.
Custom make, yes, whatever color.
We had this one customer. She wanted what was it? Lavender, lilac.
It was rose. It was lavender and then rose gold.
So we were there for like what? 45 minutes.
Oh my gosh! I was matching colors and I was trying to figure out the color scheme and the RGB.
Yeah, the RGB.
Yes, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get it. And I sent her a few, and she was like, no, that's not it. She's like, okay, let's try again. And then I sent her another one. She said, no, that's not it. I said, oh my God, what am I doing wrong? So then finally I got it. And she goes, that's it. It's perfect. And we were so happy when we finally were able to give her what she wanted.
Yeah.
And it's it's just like a wonderful feeling when someone says, can you make this for me in this color? And you say, absolutely, we can.
Yes.
We absolutely can. And we do. That person walks away happy and satisfied. And that's another way for me, like how we connect more with our customers.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
We make that connection where it's custom made. If that's what you want, that's what you're gonna get.
We had some off the wall, like one guy wanted a bucket hat and I thought he was joking. I was like, I haven't seen bucket hats since like the 90s,
Right, yeah, they're making a comeback.
I was like, are they really? I didn't know that.
I feel like I see them everywhere.
I was like, this
like the young people stores, I guess.
So, but we ended up doing bucket hats and a denim bucket hat.
Yes.
So nice. Yeah, we try to work with everybody. I think it's also very important and very awesome that fighters like our clothes and they're willing to wear it. You know what I mean? Because what's a better rep than an actual fighter who's literally in that cage or that ring fighting for survival for those amount of rounds or time that they're in there for, So I think we're onto something big, and I think it's gonna work out way better than we ever expected.
That's amazing. I love that. Yeah, it's really cool. And obviously I like your stuff because I just got to wear it yesterday for the first time. Got to break it in. Yeah, so I'm excited to, keep seeing what you guys are doing and how it continues to evolve. Yeah, and I love, all the colors, and I love that you can even make custom stuff. I didn't even realize that. That's really cool.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
put it on the website. If there's something that you want that's not there, like it's on the website, email us or whatever. They have this little comment section, and they just write the comment. We'll get the email, and then we start working with them as soon as possible. We try to be very hands-on.
Yes, very hands-on. We respond
That's important.
Quickly as possible.
Yes.
We had someone who reached out to us yesterday.
Yesterday, yeah.
Yes.
Wanted to know about any sales coming on next week. So we told them, subscribe to the email and email list, and you'll get a notification.
Nice. So have you guys always kind of been entrepreneurs, or did you just kind of turn into one?
I would say she's the entrepreneur.
I always wanted to own my own something, but gets in the way, insecurities get in the way, not knowing if you're able to or capable, or not having the right tools, or not even knowing where to go to get the right tools. That can sometimes be a huge challenge where you don't even know what questions to ask to get where you want to go.
100%.
So I always wanted to do something, to create something, and then we just walked into each other's lives, and he proposed this amazing idea, and I said, we're doing this.
Yes. She was the biggest believer in my idea, because after I told a few people, and the people who you expect to support you end up not supporting you, laughing, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Now they're not laughing.
Or they just think you're a little crazy. They're like, what are you doing?
But yeah, I'd say she's definitely the entrepreneur. I mean, she's constantly, I'm a work in progress, and she hasn't given up on me. She sees something in me. Okay? But she's the brains, I'm the brawn. I look at it as she's the entrepreneur, and I'm just the hustler. I just know how to push the product.
No, that's part of it.
But she's the brains.
No, that's important. That's because the thing is, you could have the best product in the world, but if you don't know how to get it into people's hands, then it doesn't really matter. And that's why a lot of times the best product isn't always the one that's number one, because it's all marketing. Like everything is marketing and grind and hustle and blood, sweat, and tears. And it's like sometimes the person that works the hardest is the one that's going to win, even if there's something out there that's better or less expensive or whatever. It's like, I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, look at Starbucks. Does Starbucks have the best coffee? No. Do they have the cheapest coffee? Definitely no. But they're number one because everybody knows Starbucks. It's just, So marketing is huge. And it's good that you have that hustle and that grind, because I feel like as an entrepreneur, it's so necessary to have. It's like you won't survive without it.
Once I pitched the idea to her, I knew I had to step my game up, because I didn't know anything about clothes or fashion, promotion,
commerce,
none of that stuff. So I had a buddy of mine who was local. He was very big locally in New York. His brand is Trust No One, New York. Amazing person. Told me like the ins, the outs, answered all my questions, showed no hate whatsoever, was very supportive. Love him for that. That book behind you, Can't Get by David Goggins.
Can't Hurt Me?
Can't Hurt Me. I love it. It pushes me to do better in jiu-jitsu. It pushes me to do better in life with my partner. And then I started to step my game up in the sense of like, okay, my partner likes the idea. Now I need to know what to do. So I looked at people that I wanted to compete with, such as Gymshark, right? And that was like the main one, because I was like, Gymshark is not, I mean, it's known now, it's popular now, but how did they start? And if you look at the way they started, it's so humbling. You know what I mean? They came from literally nothing.
And Francis is a freaking, oh my gosh, what a genius.
So after reading that and how they came up and how they started, I was like, all right, sweetie, I have to start making moves. I can't just sit here waiting for lightning to strike. It already struck once, it may not happen again. So that's when I told her, I said, we got to start doing promos. we have to start sending our stuff out, you know, because we already had a customer in Germany,
Brazil.
Canada, Brazil. Like we people have bought from other countries,
Wow.
and it was awesome, right? But I felt like we weren't getting the attention here in the States or New York, you know.
Sure.
So that's when we started doing all the promos and reaching out to everybody, and it's been amazing. I'm shocked.
He networks his behind off.
Yeah.
That's super important.
Very.
Networking is honestly one of the most underrated skills that you can learn as an entrepreneur. And it's hard. It's uncomfortable. Like when I first started networking, I've always been a little more shy, which probably shocks people hearing that now. But like I've been a shy person like most of my life. Like I'm not the type of person who will just go up and talk to people. Now I kind of have more confidence. So now I am way more, you know, just I'll go up and talk to whoever if I feel like there's somebody I would vibe with. I'm like, hey, you know. But yeah, I feel like networking is so important. And also you mentioned that you reached out to your friend that owns I'm sorry, what was the name of the company again that he owns?
Trust no one.
Trust no one. Yes, you mentioned that. And that is one piece that is super important being an entrepreneur too. And anytime somebody reaches out to me, like asks me like, you know, I want to start this, I want to start a podcast, I want to start a company or whatever, like, what should I do? I'm like, find somebody who is doing what you want to do and they're doing it better than you are, at least, or they're doing it on a high level, and talk to them, reach out to them, as many people as you can. But try to find, you know, a few people that you can kind of see as a mentor. And if they're willing to help you and talk to you, then that's amazing, because that is going to propel you forward so much, because they've already made the mistakes. You know, and you're still going to make the mistakes, but you're not going to make as many mistakes, and you're going to have a little bit more direction and guidance. And that initial stage of like the analysis paralysis will it'll help you with that for sure, because you're like, okay, I at least know like a first step I can take. Because once you take the first step, all the other steps I feel like get a lot easier.
Yep. Everything falls into place eventually.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're very grateful for Trust No One, and we make sure we pay it forward. You know, we have people come up to us and be like, "Oh, how can I start my brand? How can I do this?" I'm like, "Dude, I'll help you. Just, you know, tell me what you want to do. I'll give you my opinion. I'll tell you how I did it." You know? Yeah. So you know, we're trying to pay it forward, and we're thankful for all the success we have and the success that we will continue to have.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think paying it forward is super important. I think, you know, that's kind of one thing I've tried to do too, is like anytime somebody reaches out to me and they want, you know, to start something, I'm like, look, I'm not freaking Joe Rogan, but I'll help you. I will help you as much as I can. Because I want to see people do what I'm doing, and so we can all kind of motivate each other. Because it's like when your friends are doing the same things you're doing, or they have common goals as you, it makes it more fun. And it also motivates you all to do better. And that's why you see a lot of times fighters, you know, when they kind of have their little groups or whatever, they motivate each other to become better. And that's why a lot of times when gyms have, you know, like one fighter wins a fight, then the next fighter wins a fight, and then the next one wins a fight. And it's like that momentum kind of carries. So I always love when people reach out to me, like they probably think like, oh, like, you know, Bre's not going to help me. But it's like when people reach out to me, say they want to start a podcast, I get so excited. And I'm like, yes, please, I will help you. I'm not going to do it for you, but I'm like, I'm going to give you some good tips. And then, you know, you can go out there and realize how much work it is. And then you come back to me and be like, wow, Bre. But it's so much fun. That's awesome. I guess, is the business easier or more difficult than you thought it would be with Sins and Vices?
I strongly believe that nothing comes easy in life, you know, unless you hit the lotto or you got a ton of money.
Yep.
100%. We busted our butt.
It has its challenges.
Go ahead.
No, no, I thought you were going to say something. It definitely has its challenges. But so far, I think it's been a great road.
Yes.
That's
It hasn't been a
awesome.
long road as of yet, but it's been. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to raise the volume here.
Oh no, you're fine.
Lost a little bit of
Yeah, I
volume.
feel like kind of as you grow, you just get new problems. Like the problems
Yeah.
don't go away, they're just different. It's like, how
Right.
are we gonna fill these 5,000 orders? It's like, okay, well, that's a good problem to have. You know, it's better than the problem you had before. So it's like, yeah, bring it on. Yeah, I love it. Well, that's cool. But you guys have each other too, so I feel like that's important. You know, when you have a team, makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, it's hard work. My partner knows I'm always up for a challenge. You know, I've yet to back down. I'll take a loss, but I'll always learn something from the loss, and it'll make me strong for the next thing. You know, and I love the quote. I believe it's by LeBron James. Nothing is given, everything is earned. And we both, I'd say more so me. I come from a lot more humbling beginnings. You know, so I've never had anything given to me. I've always had to scrap. Always had to you know, just keep pushing forward. You know,
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes us very compatible here, because she has the brain. She was given a lot more opportunities in life than I was, right? So now with her brains and my ambition, we're just like the perfect duo to make this happen.
The challenges are obviously challenging. They're difficult. We have to work hard to overcome them, and there are those moments where we really butt heads.
Yes.
There are those
I can imagine.
Yeah, there are those moments where we're just looking at each other like, did you do X, Y, Z? No, did you? Well, I thought you did it. Well, weren't you gonna do it? And what?
And then it's get the gloves. We're scoring.
Let's go to the gym. That's funny.
What makes it easier is that he is my partner.
Yes.
And we know that at the end of the day, we're fighting together, but we're working together.
Yeah, you have a common vision.
Yes, we have the same goal. So it makes it a lot easier with him doing it together.
Yeah.
It also brings us closer. So then, we know, I already know what angle he's coming at, and he already sees where I'm coming from. So it makes it a little bit easier to navigate it. But I would say the easiest part of it is yet hard, but it's still easiest part of it is having him as a great partner. Having someone who at the end of the day, this person has is supporting you.
Yeah.
You have all of this person's support. But yes, the challenges from the website, that was challenging. Creating the website.
Technology.
That was tough.
It was just throwing money at people.
It was
to get this going. And she's like, Dave,
slow down.
I'm like, this has got to get done. Make it rain on these.
I'm like, no. But and even the finalizing of the logo was tough, and deciding what actual products we wanted, what we didn't want. It was very challenging. Not something that I never thought it would be the way that it went.
Yeah.
I never, as wanting to have something in terms of a business, as being an entrepreneur, I had no idea. It's almost like those questions you don't know what to ask. I had no clue.
Yeah, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
For sure. I feel ya. Yeah. I've had my share of, definitely the technology. Like last couple weeks, I was having like just nothing but issues with my audio, and it was driving me nuts. Like I had to get a different computer, and I was like, oh my God. And then it was like something else got messed up. Like the last episode I did in my MMA show, the audio, like I messed up the settings because it was my new computer. So I forgot, like it wasn't all set to the way it was on my old one. And I'm just like, I hate technology so much. I'm like, I hate it. I'm so tired of dealing with it. Like that is, I'm like, I wish I just had somebody who could just set all this up and I just talk. I'm like, I'm like, can somebody please do this for me?
Yes.
I'm like, one day I'll get there and I'll
Get
be
there
like
for
Rogan.
sure.
I'll have my Jamie and he can do it.
That's all.
And then you guys too, you know, eventually you'll probably get to the point where you've got, you know, employees and you've got people working for you, and or do you have employees already?
It's just me and her. We've had people want
Nice.
to
Yes.
buy in. What's the word? I forgot the word. Where they want to buy into the company.
Oh, like investors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've had like 2 or 3 people come up to us and be like, oh, you know, how much to invest in your company? We want to be a part of it. And I brought it up to you, remember? And you were like, nah, that's not happening, Dave.
Not right now.
And I was just like, perfect.
Nice.
Cool. He said no.
If you can keep it yours, I would.
Yes.
Because then you're giving up a little bit of control too.
Yes.
So
yeah.
We don't want that. We want full control.
And you know, we've done this far so far. So we're just gonna keep at it until something pops up, something hits, something's gotta stick. That's the motto.
For sure. Well, and you're not even a year in, right?
No, our first 3 was amazing. Like I was shocked. I was shocked at our first 3 months, and I was just literally, for lack of a better word, selling it out of our trunk.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then once we got the website up, it went good. It went great, you know. And then now with the fighters and people actually repping it and taking pictures and tagging us, more exposure. People want to know where we get our clothes from, because you know, all the new people at our gym, they're like, oh, I like that shirt, you know, where'd you get it? It's our brand. And then they're like, oh, that's my God, awesome. Really? Yeah.
That is so cool.
It's when I'm down, something always happens, and it shoots me right back up to the top.
Yes, absolutely. He can be like really just bummed out about, oh, this didn't work out today. Yeah. And then out of nowhere, out of the blue, the universe just like presents something. Yeah. and all of a sudden he's like, oh my God, look, it happened.
Yeah.
So that is
it's crazy how it works. It is so crazy. Well, and sometimes you have to hit the bottom to have a place to kind of jump from. In my opinion, I mean, I felt like right before I started my show, I felt like I was kind of in a place where I don't know, I was kind of having an identity crisis. Like I was leaving my career of 5 years and I really just wasn't ready to leave, but I wanted to leave because like the industry was just a mess. And I was like, I really just want to do what I've always wanted to do and express my creativity in my career and do something that, you know, will present more opportunities and introduce me to new people and people that are like me. And I feel like I needed that almost. Like I needed to get to a place in my life where I kind of lost myself a little bit. And then now I feel like I've found myself more than ever before. It's crazy how things work. So that's really cool that you kind of experienced that. And I think you're doing great. I mean, I wouldn't have thought that it had only been less than a year, because I mean, for most businesses, it takes at least 2 years to really get going. So that's awesome. You guys are killing it.
Thank you.
I'm very proud of it. This is our baby. And we just want to see it flourish.
Absolutely. Yeah. And anything I can do, let me know. Yeah. I was at the gym yesterday and my friend Austin, he was sitting at the front and I walked over and I was like, hey, what's up, man? And he's like, dude, your outfit is sick. And I was like, thanks.
Nice.
He's like, yeah, I got it from Sins and Vices. And he's like, oh, that's freaking awesome. He's like, do they make men's clothes? I'm like, yeah.
Austin,
so obviously, Austin, you got to reach out. You got to get your stuff from them. Well, that's freaking awesome. I'm really excited to kind of see. I mean, if you're only less than a year in, it's gonna be crazy to see like where you're at even a year from now. That's gonna be awesome. Do you have any like goals for the new year that you're excited about, or anything new coming up?
What I want, and I brought it up to her, and I was just like, we need a face. We need like actually somebody that people can relate with,
Relate to,
right?
yeah.
Because like I said, going back to Gymshark, that's what the guy did. You know, he
Yep.
was a face. He showed the good days, the bad days, everything. So I was like, sweetie, I gotta lose weight. I gotta start training. I was like, I gotta compete. I was like, you got all these fighters, and then I'm over here weighing 195 pounds, just eating a bag of chips. So, needless to say, I started dieting, and that's what propelled me to compete. I it's been like a year. I took like a year off competition, and I just got complacent. I just got comfortable, and and no, for the new year, I want us to push the brand. She's more of the behind the scenes.
I'm more behind the scenes.
I'm more gung ho on. All right, look at me. I struggle, right? But look at me now. If I can do it, you can do it. You know what I mean?
100%.
So that's my motto, and I tell people all the time. I was like, dude, I work full time. I go to school, you know, full time. I try to do the business full time. I train. You know, I'm juggling all these different obstacles.
Yeah,
If
that's
I could do it,
crazy.
anybody could do it. And I don't know how Maria puts up with me, because you know, especially with the dieting, I love food. And then I'm having mood swings now. I'm having like food withdrawals.
Oh
and,
yeah.
And she just gets me, and she keeps constantly pushing me to do better. I don't want to train. She pushes me out the house. She's like, no, you're going to go train. Yeah. When I competed and I did pretty well, I felt, and she was there. She was my
great.
Adrian.
You did great.
She was my Adrian. So,
That's
will people
awesome.
understand the Rocky reference?
I don't know. I hope so.
I got it, and
Nice, all right, thank God.
that wasn't even my time. So if I got it, then I feel like everybody should get that one. But that's amazing. Well, that's really cool that you guys kind of complement each other in that way. I feel like that's really important, not only in a business, but also just in relationships in general. You know, to find someone that pushes you, but is also like your biggest cheerleader at the same time. Like, that really believes in you. And it's like, if somebody's hating on you, they're like, no, like they get mad, like they get mad with you. Like, that's what you need. Like, if somebody's agreeing with your haters, and it's like, what are you even doing with me? Like, get out of here. I love that. It's important. It's like the us against the world. I love that.
Yes.
That is freaking awesome. It's important. It's important to have. It's rare too. Yeah.
She's definitely my rock steady. From training and being bummed about getting beat up, or I felt some type of way. She's like, Dave, tomorrow's another day. Take some ibuprofen. You'll feel better tomorrow. But yeah, I got very lucky.
That's
lucky.
Amazing. Well, you guys are awesome to talk to. This has been really fun. When's your jiu-jitsu competition?
I got good fight submission only. December 2nd, Saturday,
okay.
December 2nd. So that's a tournament. Guaranteed 2 fights. Last time I did it a year ago, I got 3rd place. These guys were beasts. Like they go to Gracie gyms, they train, they have wrestling backgrounds. So it's fun. I'm gonna push it to the limit, and I feel like I'm gonna kick somebody's ass. Last time I did it, I drinks the night before, so I got 3rd place, and I blamed that. I blamed the alcohol I had the night before I got 3rd place. But
this time we won't do that.
No, there's no alcohol this time.
There you go.
But definitely shooting for top 3.
And then you have the other one.
And then I have Long Island Jiu-Jitsu Network, December 16th. And shout out to them for giving me the opportunity to sponsor and compete in the event.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, I thought that was real cool. We have takedown of the night. So whoever has the best takedown will get a bundle package from SMV.
You better work on your suplex.
That's what he said. And I was like, no, I'm not going to give it to myself. But it's not a bad
hilarious.
idea.
That's so funny.
At all. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, but I got those 2 in the works, and then we'll see what comes from that. I definitely want to be more active in competition this year. This year coming up.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I feel like if I ever did jiu-jitsu, I would probably want to compete, because it just seems like so much fun. Because even if you don't win, or even if you don't like get 1st place, just competing. There's just something about it. It's just so much fun because it's more motivating than just training. Training to just train. It's like, okay. But then when you have something you're competing in, then it's like you get that that dog comes out.
Yeah, it's so. I'm sorry, Bre. It's so funny. Last year, I was shitting bricks. I see at good fights. All I saw was Renzo Gracie students, and they're all traveling in packs, right? And I'm looking around, and I'm like, I'm the only person from my gym. I was like with Maria and the kids, and I was like, sweetie, we could just go home now. Nobody will know. And she goes, no, you're doing this. You're doing this. And I was terrified. I was just like, I got nobody from my gym there to support, I was just, my buddy was a Renzo Gracie guy, so he's with his friends. And I go inside, and then eventually, I actually came across a couple guys who go to my gym. And there was a professor there too, so he ended up coaching me. So it wasn't too bad. But I remember if it wasn't for Maria, I would have ran out. I would have ran home. I would have ran home. It was terrifying. And then that first fight, all that shit left. Like, it was do or die. You know what I mean? That's how I took it. Because I was just like, I got my kids here. Maria's watching. I was like, I gotta do something. And that guy was that guy had me on my back for 15 minutes.
Oh
that guy was
God.
a beast. We went into the triple overtime. No, we went into sudden death. It was triple overtime and then sudden death. It was like 15 minutes straight of just rolling with this guy. And he was a beast. And I won. And I didn't even know what happened. And I have the picture. I screenshotted the video at that point where they lifted my hand. The kid looks like Macaulay Culkin. And
that's hilarious.
I don't even know what's going on. I'm like, where am I? I won? What?
You're like, how did this happen?
Yeah, competition will bring the dog out in you, and it'll push you further than you ever thought you could be pushed,
Oh yeah.
So I would definitely recommend it if you ever do compete. It's worth it. Even if you lose, you learn something. I learned
absolutely
what not to do, because I won 2 and I lost 1. And I learned what to do against that. His name was Eric Anderson, I remember, because I found him on Instagram, and I was like, I need closure. I need closure. I was like, how did I do? He goes, dude, you brought the fight to me. He goes, I didn't think I was gonna win. And I was like, thank you. That's all I needed to hear. That's it. But he got me. He got me with a collar choke, and he deserved it.
Wow.
It was either literally pass out and get disqualified from competing, or just tap it.
Yeah.
I chose to tap.
Right.
But it's awesome. I'm so happy. I'm back into competing. I'm happy she supports it, So
yeah,
only big and better things to come.
Very exciting. Well,
Yes.
like I said, I'm very excited to see how everything that you're doing evolves and gets bigger and bigger. And I'm excited to see how you do in your competition. That's going to be really fun. And yeah, thank you guys so much for coming on. I really appreciate your time and kind of telling me more. It's really cool to learn more about. It's not every day that you get to wear something and then have the person who made it on your podcast and talk to them about how they created it. That's so cool.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yes, thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, like I said, I'm super excited for the future. It's looking bright. So anything that I can do to help you, support you, reach out to me. If I don't respond right away, it's only because I'm busy, but I will get to you whenever I can. But I will try to support you and help you in any way possible. And help create some content for you and get your name out there. Yeah, let's freaking go.
We'll work something out. We'll be texting or Instagram messaging, whatever it's called. And yeah, we'll definitely get some more merch out to you. The leggings are fire. Have you seen the leggings?
I'll wear whatever you send me, for real. Yeah.
I know you're very busy. Before I let you go, I just want to say, people be on the lookout for our Black Friday specials coming up.
Yes.
Next week. I want to give the only shout out actually. Well, no, I have a few, but a huge thank you to my partner.
Oh.
Who's literally my rock steady and holds me down when I flip out and have my temper tantrums. I want to give a shout out to our sponsors, my sponsors for the competition, which is Bre Eckert. Thank you so much. I thought that was
absolutely
awesome. There's Roots, there's The Fighting Now, there's Jose Torero Real Estate, And of course, you know, we sponsored me. I don't know if that's bad, but you know.
I feel like you have to. You have to.
I felt like that's necessary.
That's awesome.
But yeah, thank you so much for having us, Bre.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, you guys have a great rest of your day. Have a great Thanksgiving.
Yes,
Eat all
thank
the
you.
food. Enjoy it while you can, and before you got to compete. Enjoy that cheap meal.
Yes.
Yeah, I hope you guys have a great holiday with your family. And yeah, reach out to me anytime, and we'll talk soon.
Perfect. Have a great weekend.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy your week. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye.